We are going to start with a middle part, and we're going to match the back half. Clip the other half out the way, and we're going to begin parting. Because we're doing extra large knotless, I'm only doing 4 rows for this, but remember guys, when you're pre-parting, this is a rough draft, okay? Like, these are not going to be perfect parts. You just want to be able to map out the entire head, the size of your client's head, how many braids you think you're going to have. And this is so important, because this helps you manage your time. Not only do you get to see exactly how these braids will fit on your client's head, but it helps you move a lot faster because you already have the layout for how these braids are gonna sit, how many rows you're gonna have, and how many braids. So when you get done, this is what it should look like. And this is the same method for any size of knotless braids. So when you go to part, you're gonna take out the top row from the row that you're actually about to start on. So I only took out the row above this one, and now I took some gel and I did go in and apply it, and now I'm just perfecting this part. Usually with extra large knotless, there's only 2 braids in the back because these are similar to coil arrays, but just a little bit longer. So apply the gel on any part that you do. Always pre-part it first and then go in with the gel when you are about to get ready to start braiding, okay? So with large knotless, it's actually a lot harder to braid large knotless because it's a lot more hair that you have to control, a lot more product, a lot more finger strength. So you want to make sure that every part of this section is slicked down. So as you can see, I am literally dividing sections within this one part to make sure that everything is sleeked down, okay? And I'd suggest that you use a braider gel, not really edge control. If you use edge control, it can be a light amount, but you don't really need edge control when you have a really good braiding gel. As you guys can see, it is sleek, okay? This is not going anywhere. And so to start the knotless braid, you want to part it down the middle and then horizontally within that next section. And this method actually helps you keep the braid in the middle of the section, which is best for hair growth, because when it's all the way at the bottom or it's all the way at the top or on the other side, it just doesn't grow right, and it actually hurts when it grows out. So in order to feed in, you're going to take your index and your thumb to feed it in. And I'll show you guys what that looks like one more time. But right here, you can see I'm tugging on her hair just a little bit because it tightens the braid. Okay, so here it is again. You're going to use your index and your thumb to grab that feed in hair. And the way you know it's thick is by how it feels in your hand. If it's not enough hair, you'll feel it because the braid is not getting bigger, right? Make sure you keep adding the necessary amounts of hair in the beginning parts of the braid, and tuck your client's hair. Put gel on your client's hair and make sure it's tucked at the bottom, okay? I'll show you guys what this looks like again. That you know your part is slicked when you can twist it like this and it stays in place, okay? And so I know I said before to part it in half, but sometimes when you part it in half, the sections are not the same size, okay? Your section pieces are not the same size. So the whole goal is to make sure that you are assessing your client's head to know how much hair is in each strand, and each strand needs to be the exact same size, or at least close in size, okay? So you want to twist all of these because it keeps the hair laid down and in place, right? And so what you're going to do is take your index finger and your thumb, and you're gonna grab that first piece by the root, okay? Then you're gonna grab your feed-in piece. This piece is usually smaller than the strands that are already in your hand. If they're bigger, it'll look lumpy and it'll look like a regular braid. Use your index and your thumb to secure it, and then use your other index to push the hair up into the braid. Index and finger to grab the other piece and tighten. This entire process, you'll be using both of your index fingers and your thumbs. This is how you secure your braids. This is how they stay tight. This is how you keep control of the amount of hair that's in your head, especially for large knotless. So you're gonna repeat the same process. I call it the crab finger method, okay? It's like you got crab hands. Use your index and your thumb this entire time, and I promise you will not fail at knotless. You're going to gradually add bigger pieces as you go along. Remember in the beginning I had said start with smaller pieces than the strands that are in your hand because it'll look like a knotless braid. But once you start to go down, you want to start adding the thickest pieces of hair because this is where the size of the knotless braid will come from. But gradually, you guys. Don't go overboard, okay? The biggest secret that people aren't telling you about becoming a good braider is being able to feel when something is not right. You can look at it and obviously tell when a braid doesn't look right, but the braider who did those braids wasn't paying attention to what she was actually doing enough to feel that it was off. So you need to be able to feel the braid, feel how thick the pieces of hair are, and this will literally change your knotless braid game. And so now we are about to start the next row. You are going to pull out the edges if she wants them pulled out, but my client wanted her swooped in, so we just kept her edges up. We are going to use the exact same method we did with parting. And because we already have the rough draft, all we have to do is apply a little bit of gel and go over the line. Go over the line as many times as you need to make it straight. Okay, and now what we're gonna do here is brick layer the braids. This is what braiders call brick layering because there are no braids that sit directly on top of each other. If you see the two braids that we first did, there's going to be a braid that sits in between each of the braids. So there'll be a braid in between those two and a braid on the outside. And that'll be the exact method used for the entire head. And I pre-part everything, okay? I can see exactly what the size will look like, if it's perfect, if it's not. And you guys should repeat the same method and your braids should look exactly like this.